New at 11, the city of St. Petersburg is brainstorming ways to brighten up the city after the state required them to erase several different street murals. Some of those options include murals on city-owned buildings or parking garages, bicycle racks and flags, but not all council members are on board with the proposals. The city of St. Petersburg wants to make a bold statement.
Take some action to get things out there so that everyone sees that no matter what happens on the state level, that in St. Petersburg, you are seen, welcome, and celebrated.
2 months since the state required cities to paint over street murals to prevent driver distraction, council members are thinking of ways to keep the city's branding as a city of the arts.
These 5 murals were a part of the fabric that helps to define St. Petersburg as the vibrant, welcoming city that so many people have chosen to call home.
The Arts, Culture, and Tourism Director came up with several proposals, adding murals on city-owned buildings or parking garages.
I think the easiest thing to do would be to paint very similar things to what were on the streets into a place, publicly owned city building or whatnot, that reflects, the art that we lost.
Including adding a splash of color to the wastewater plants.
You just have this opportunity to kind of paint this lens right next to something like that. You're driving on the interstate over the Skyway, you've got the Southwest plant.
But there were questions about whether it would go against FDOT's rule and feasibility.
FDOT in their memo kind of stressed that they were talking specifically, that memo more or less talked about pavement murals and pavement markings.
It might not be it may not be feasible. It may be really hard to do.
Another option, adding some color to bike racks across the city.
Going to necessarily use something like this to replicate what was there before, but even, looking at USF St. Pete campus, are there ways that, bike racks and things like that could be painted in those same colors, because then it kind of gives that homage to what those street murals were.
But one proposal that got them talking included adding more city flags like these. One is pride related, the other focuses on Black history.
We need to make them accessible to everyone who wants one.
Councilor Mike Harding didn't agree.
We represent the 280,000 people who live here, regardless of what they bring to the table. And that flag is generic for a reason, the flag that represents the city of St. Pete.
But what they do know is something has to be done.
Important that, we do recognize that we have to stand up to Big Brother when he tries to tell little brother what to do.
The Arts, Culture, and Tourism Director said that much of the feedback they received said that the street murals actually slowed traffic and acted as a landmark when someone needed directions. They hope this will do the same.